Mike Knapp, gentleman in the green.
Mike Knapp from FrontStretch.com. I got two, one for Jamie and one for Bono. Jamie, I don't know what it is about you in the big races, but Daytona 500, Darlington, the 600, and now Indy, you've been either first or second in all four of those races. Do you have any idea why it is it just seems to step up so much in those? And for Bono, developing chemistry with a new driver seems to be a science that takes a while to develop most of the time, and we've seen multiple examples just this year where it hasn't worked out at all. What do you attribute your success so quickly with Jamie this year?
I'd have to say similar likes and similar age, and Jamie being around, being available, and starting last year around Homestead or a week before Phoenix, that we really kind of thought that we're going to get something started and continue from that day forward. It was just the relationship that we grew. We knew we had to put it in fast forward, and we didn't have time to. So it was testing over the winter, simply going to lunch 2 or 3 times a week. I know Jamie's a germ freak now, and so am I. I mean, he's made me a germ freak. Almost. But but it's just it. It's just really simple. We just had to speed the process up, and that's through testing. And like I said, a couple weeks ago we had a day off, and he come pick me up on a tracker boat, and I took him tubing. So I was doing the driving. So it's just good friendship, good chemistry, but also business. I'm business. I'm at work every day, and it's just a good team. And Chip, Felix, Teresa have assembled a good team.
Well, I think it's coincidence a little bit. Sorry, let me move this. That we've run well at all those big races, but after sitting on the pole at Darlington and running second, and then going to Chicago with the same car and sitting on the pole and running fifth, we had a car that they had given all the updates to, and we were going to bring here. And I asked Bono, I'm like, is there any chance we could bring that same car that we ran at Darlington and at Chicago? And he's like, absolutely. So we raced Chicago on Saturday, and I went to the shop on Monday. The car was all stripped down, and they were taking it in to repair it. So, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with we brought our best stuff, and the guys worked really hard to get that car ready to come here. And Felix said it's because they pay more money. So that might have something to do with it.
John Hanna, Racing Information Systems. During qualifying, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon both pegged your team as well as Juan's team as the main contenders for this race. What does that respect mean to you?
Well, I think that's awesome. It seems like every year you have an organization that is a little bit above the rest, and it seems like it's been Roush, it's been Hendricks. But I think that our organization, I really don't think that there's any better cars out there, and the science that's behind it. It's not just trial and error. I mean, the engineers do a really good job at using the tools that they have, and those tools function when we get to the track. You can have computer programs that tell you a lot, but if it doesn't function when you get to the track, it doesn't matter. And they just build really fast, lightweight cars, and the setups and stuff that go in them, they just work really well. So I think that's really. I mean, I think that means a lot to me that organization, who you would consider one of the best, thinks that we're a threat.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com for Chip. Kevin Harvick said something very simple a while ago in here about what your teams have accomplished this year. He said, "This will probably never happen again." Your reaction, please.
I want to thank Richard for giving me the 29 engine this weekend. He gave me the 29 and the 31 engines. I tell him that every week, And I'll tell you what, first of all, those guys, they give us great engines, ECR. And, Kevin and I are old buddies, and for him to say that's a pretty big statement. And, he's a great guy, and I've always liked him as a friend, and I respect him as a driver, and I hope I'll learn to respect him as a historian, and maybe hope he's right. got Mike, then Bob, and Holly, and John.
Down in front.
Mike Massaro, ESPN. Question for Chip and for Jamie. Getting back to the Juan situation, this is the second consecutive year that he's dominated this race and did not win. You know him pretty well. What effect will this have on him?
He's probably over it already, I'm sure. Yeah, I know he's mad. I'm sure he's mad, but he's over it. It's racing. This is what he does for a living.
Jamie, you've got the trophy. It's your job to go out there and beat everybody every week. But is there any part of you that has a little sympathy for what he went through here today and last year?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's I mean, for anybody that you know can lead that many laps of a race, and you know they certainly had the best car. I mean, it's been their year though. I would guess that they're not shocked by what's happened today, because it just seems like they've had a lot of bad luck, you know. And I don't know what happened to him. Honestly, I didn't even know that he was involved in a wreck until under that caution I saw him walking out of his car, and I didn't want to ask what had happened because I was more concerned with what I was doing at the time. But yeah, I mean that's hard on anybody to lead that many laps, and this is a special place to Juan from winning the Indy 500 and being the guy that can be the only guy that's won both of those races. So yeah, I mean that's really tough.
Chip, if you were to speak to a group from like the Kelly School of Business down in Bloomington, what would you tell them in terms of maybe 2 or 3 things that are key to building a business that's had the kind of success that you've had?
I don't know, hard work, passion, and sacrifice. That's what I'd tell them. Does that answer it? Is that what you...
It's not going to fill up much columns.
Well, I mean, you gotta work hard at what you want to do. You got to work hard at it. I mean, I don't know. You got to work hard at it. It's the only way I've figured out how to do it. Work hard at it. You know, say you got to turn the other ear to a lot of things, and turn your head to a lot of things, and keep focused on what you're trying to. Stay on your plan. You know, I can't tell you how many times we've been staying on our plan for a long time, how we go racing and week in and week out, and we've been staying on plan for a long time. So you got to sacrifice. You can't listen to other people. You got to make sacrifices though. You have to choose. You have to pick and choose sometimes. You have to make a call, A or B or X or Y, or make a left or make a right. You know, and those are tough calls you got to make. But you got to make plan your work and work your plan. And then, you got to have some passion about what you're doing. You got to love what you're doing. I love what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm privileged to be in this for a living, and honored to represent the people we represent and the companies we represent. And I'm a lucky guy.